Hey, the young couple that bought this van, they put, heck, they've put almost 15,000 miles on it since they got it. Check engine light came on, and so it seems like it's a little hard starting. And I took the tool scanner up to it, and I'm getting code P0171. I'm 99% positive it's going to be the mass airflow sensor. I'm going to try and clean it. If that don't work, I'll just I'll replace it. I'm going to also do a check on it. Okay, mass airflow sensor on this engine is right here. I'm going to disconnect the air box. I'm just going to change the air filter for them. But right here's a mass airflow sensor. It should be 2 Phillips heads. And I had just changed, I guess about a month ago, I put new spark plug wires and new spark plugs in it. I didn't do a video because, to be honest with you, it's just too hard to try and film, especially on the back side. Try and change those 3 plugs in the back. You basically got to remove the whole cowling and everything to be able to get back there. And unless you're have decent mechanical skills, I really wouldn't do it, because it's a pain in the butt. It's just not a very fun experience. You don't want to have little kids around you when you're doing it, if you know what I mean, because you will say things you don't want to. I'll be right back after I remove this. Okay, I just pulled the whole air box out because I had to clean it out. I called him up. He had removed the air filter. There's no air filter in it. This thing had sucked leaves, everything else in. It was actually into the throttle body. Cleaned that out. I may end up having to clean that whole throttle body up. The mass airflow sensor is filthy. These 2 screws that hold the mass flow air sensor in, that's a T15 bit. A T15 for those to remove the mass airflow sensor. So I'm going to take this out and try and clean it, and then put it back together. But I'm actually going to be cleaning everything else up too. But yeah, there's leaves all over the place in here. I can't believe how many leaves are in it. It actually made it into the throttle body. Don't ever run a vehicle without an air filter. Like I said, I just talked to him, and his wife said that he had forgot. He went to get a new air filter, and he had forgot to put, he had took the old air filter out with him to go down to the auto parts store, and then got busy during the day and forgot about putting the new air filter back in. So they've been running it for about 3 weeks without an air filter. So that's a great way of getting the mass airflow sensor dirty and getting all kind of contaminants into the throttle body. Be right back. Okay, I've cleaned the mass airflow sensor. I'm going to show you something just in case you didn't pay attention how it went in. So technically there's only one way it can go in. If you look, see how the holes are not lining up going in this way? Flip it around. Now the holes line up. See that? That's the proper way in. The holes are lined up. If you flip it around, it'll go the other way, but the problem is the holes will not line up. Okay? So don't panic. Just your holes should line up like that. I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together, and then I'll be right back. Okay, here the air box is, everything back together. I'll show you how to hook all the lines up. Here's the rubber grommets. They go down right down in those holes. This thing had a little secret push button start under the dash. Part of the theft thing. I'm going to remove that for him at some point. He doesn't want it removed right now, but kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, all I do, I'll just put the whole air box right back in. Slide it down in, pop it down into the grommets in the hole. Slide that back on, it's good. We got 2 lines, this one back here. Just so you can see that. I just put it back in, clip. There we go. And you got another line, this line right here, this rubber line. This rubber line right here, it goes right into here. And that's where it goes. I'm going to go ahead and I got to set this down because I got to do just 2 hands, but that's how you can put everything all back together. I'm just tighten everything down. I'll be right back. Okay, yep, that line's hooked up. This line back here, the clip. If you want to undo it, you just slide that clip forward, and there's the power to the new, or the cleaned mass airflow sensor. Again, that's a T15 for those 2 screws. This is back down in the grommets, nice and tight. Now we're gonna take it for a test drive. A lot of times after about 10-15 miles, it'll clear itself. If it doesn't, I'm gonna clear it and then take it for another test drive to make sure it's good to go. And I can also put it under load, because under load it was knocking really bad. But we'll be right back. All right, I just got back. Run down the road probably about 15-20 miles. Check engine light went out. I went ahead and put the scan tool back on. There are no codes or anything. She's running really good. She's peppy now. Took it up a long incline hill, and no knocking noise or anything anymore. So she's pretty much good to go. So like I said, probably about 85% of the time when you got a P0171, it's usually a dirty or a bad mass airflow sensor. But that's all it was. Oh, and please don't ever take your air filter out to run to the auto parts store. Just go to the auto parts store and tell them what year vehicle you have and what engine. And this van here, this is a limited, so it had the 4.2. There's only 2 engine choices on this, the 3.9 and the 4.2. All you gotta do is give them the model year and the engine, and they'll come up with the air filter for you, so you ain't gotta worry about that. I'm gonna be having a vehicle soon on this. That's a 2010 Toyota Sienna minivan. Has 135,000 miles on it, and the transmission's gone out on it. So I'm going to be changing the transmission out in that. So I'll be doing a full video on that, on how to remove the transmission and replace it. But I see a lot of Toyotas, and the ones especially up here in the Northeast, they don't run forever and stay together like most people talk. They just, I'm not impressed with them. But I'll be doing a video on that to show you how to remove the transmission on that and replace it with a new transmission. Okay, take care. Bye.